Um, I'm Joe Whiteford. I'm Joe Whiteford. I don't know
I'll take a trip to the graveyard and I'll pick out a site. A freshly grave a corpse I crave, I'll dig her up tonight.
Okay, how I got started. I think just when I was a teenager, I just started playing acoustic guitar. I just wanted to write songs. And at that point, I was a Christian and I wanted to write Christian songs. I had a lot in my mind about what I thought it meant to be a Christian. And so I started writing songs about my issues and my whatever, my concerns with the world. I think right after high school, I formed a band called Calibre 13 with a friend and a friend of my then girlfriend. And we started Calibre 13. We were a Christian punk band. And that was the beginning of music. That was the beginning of music, like playing music and playing shows. Before that, I'd play like local shows with my acoustic guitar, but we started doing the band thing and got signed and started touring. And at that point, I was really into the Violent Femmes and really into I got interested in the Dead Milkmen and the Dickies shortly after the band started, because bands we'd go on tour with said, you sound a lot like these bands. So that kind of introduced me to punk rock. I didn't really know that much about punk rock until I started this band. And we were on Tooth and Nail Records, so it was like a punk label, a Christian punk label. And that was my introduction to like punk rock music with MXPX and 90 Pound Wuss and Goaty Hook. So that lasted from, I think we started Calibretto 13, it's like 1998, a year after high school, into 2001, and then we broke up. And then 2001 is when I started Harley Poe. I was already writing Harley Poe songs and coming up with the idea for Harley Poe on probably one of the last tours of Calibretto before, because we were disbanding. I could see it happening. We weren't getting along as much, and I wanted to do other things. I wasn't a believer in that faith anymore. I wanted to write about different things, and I was just tired of playing youth groups, and I was just growing up and becoming a different person. And so that was the beginning of music. It's always different. It's always different. I don't think I ever do the same thing when it comes to writing. It just depends, and even recording too, and the vibe that I want when we're in the studio, or if we're recording live. My favorite way to record is just sitting down with two mics, one on my guitar and one on my vocals, and just going and playing it simultaneously. But there's been times we use click track and we've just like laid the drums down, then the bass. So it's always been different, recording and writing. Sometimes I'll have all the ideas fleshed out. Sometimes I'll have just the song and I'll have an idea, and I'll just, depending on who I'm working with, I'll say, what do you got for this? You got some cool ideas. Art I drew since I was a small child. I like drawing. And that goes way back before I can remember. I was always drawing. That was the beginning of that, I guess. When I first started Harley Poe, I knew I wanted Harley Poe to be about the music and about the art. Maybe more so even about the art. The first Harley Poe album came with a book of poetry and illustration, and I knew I wanted them to go hand in hand. And over time, I just kind of, it got easier just to write albums and not, have a whole collection of artwork with these albums. And it became more of a band feel later on. So it was just like, let's just put albums out. And recently, I've really pursued the art aspect of Harley Poe again with the new album I'm working on now. And a couple years ago, I started really getting into illustrating more stickers and more T-shirts. So I think I've returned to Harley Poe as a way to express myself, not just through music, but through illustration and